Concept: education is the deliberate and systemic influence by the nature person upon the true instruction, discipline, and the harmonious development of all power of the human being, physical, social, intellectual, aesthetic, and spiritual, according to their essential hierarchy, by the individual and social uses, and directed towards the union of the educator with his/her creator as final end. Let's talk about definition of education. Education is a process the chief goal of which is to bring about desirable change in human behavior. The result of education is an expected change in their behavior of the students in the course of a given period. According to John Dewey, education is the continuous reconstruction of experiences. It is the development of all those capacities in the individual which will enable him to control his environment and fulfill his possibilities. On the other hand, education is a gradual process which brings positive changes in the human life and behavior. We can also define education as a process of acquiring knowledge by way of instruction or some other practical procedure. Now let's talk about definition of nursing education. Nursing education is a professional education for the preparation of nurses to enable them to render professional nursing care to people of all ages, in all phases of health and illness, in a variety of settings. They have another definition over there. Nursing education is a professional education which is consciously and systematically planned and implemented through and discipline aims for harmonious development of the physical, intellectual, social, emotional, spiritual, and aesthetic powers or abilities of the students in order to render professional nursing care to the people of all the ages, in all the phases of health and illness, in a variety of settings, in the best of or highest possible manner. Purpose and importance of education: to gain knowledge and skill, to develop the quality of a person, to develop the individual self-confidence, to develop the desirable behavior, to develop the individual intellectuality. Proper socialization of people help the people to a responsible citizen. It ensures people contribution in civilization, helps person to become economically self-sufficient, raise awareness among people about their rights, preserve culture and houseborn, to develop the innate qualities of a person, to make him or her a holistic person who is emotionally, socially, and spiritually balanced and can live in harmony with the total life, to live better, serve better, better adjustment of the society in the adequate, the hanging in the situation. There have had another purpose of education: to train the person to recognize moral value, to make men good, to enable people to treat the mind, body, and spirit in a proper way, the autonomous development of the individual, to enable students to learn social good, social service, and relationship, to provide an expected change in the behavior of the student in occur of a given period, to help the individual self-development, to creating thoughtful citizen, to make lifelong habit for work, to teach students how to live. My dear friends, now I am going to discuss about characteristics of education. Education is a fundamental process of life. It is a continuous process. It affects all modes of behavior. Education is change in response or behavior, may be favorable or unfavorable. It is a process of change, not a product in the form of changed behavior. Education takes place when organism reacts in a situation. Education is universal. Education is total reaction of the individual to the total situation. Education is transferable. Education is a process, not a product. The process of education is determined by conscious as well as unconscious experiences. Now, dear learners, I am going to discuss about process of education. Educational process is a systematic, sequential, logical, scientifically based planned course of action consisting of two major interdependent operations: teaching and learning. This process forms a continuous cycle that also involves two interdependent players: the teacher and the learner. Provide information. The teacher can provide the information to the learner through the various media like teaching book, handout tape, CD, VCD, multimedia, projector. Number 2, reinforce through exercises. A teacher will assign students some exercise to perform, to practice in classroom. Exercise also get the participants more involved in the material, which will help students to keep their interest. Now I am going to discuss about number 3, clarify and review material. Teacher will answer to the exercises, will give explanation to clarify the information and to help review the materials. Number 4, test to verify learning. Teacher will verify knowledge or competency in the subject matter. Usually teacher will assess students by taking test. If a student passes the test, it is accepted that he or she has sufficiently knows on the material or has competence in the specific subject. The process of education is a continuous and dynamic interaction between the teacher, learner and learning environment to bring about desired behavioral changes. Now I am going to discuss about elements in education process: teacher, learner, content, teaching methods, learning environment, evaluation. There are 6 items of elements in educational process. Number 1, teacher. Number 2, learner. Number 3, content. Number 4, teaching method. Number 5, learning environment. Number 6, evaluation.